Welcome to Conversations from Stritch. Today is Thursday, April 23rd. I'm Dr. David Livingston, President of Lewis University, and I'm joined by Dr. Christopher Sant, our Provost and President-elect. We are in the midst, and it really feels intense, the midst of the spring celebration season. Every day there's multiple things at night. This week started for both Chris and I with the Pi Sigma Delta Political Honor Society on Monday night. Tuesday and yesterday were filled with different parts of Celebration of Scholarship, some of which we'll talk about later in the show. Kicked off with Celebrating Scholarly Achievement event. It was followed by a keynote speaker, and then all day yesterday we had panels, poster presentation, art shows, poetry. We had the 3-minute thesis contest, the Stephanie Schlachter Award contest, the business pitch competition, just, one thing after another. And the difficult part for me, I'd, go to a business pitch and then walk down the hall and go to some of the Stephanie Schlachter, the 3-minute thesis, trying to get around to different parts of campus. In addition to all that, we also attended on Tuesday the Together for Mission event, which is hosted by the Brothers community here on campus, celebrating members of our community who will represent Lewis at different LaSallian formation opportunities this summer, which we'll talk about a little bit more. Chris will give a little more detail on that. Tonight we have the Mariachi Festival, which I'm looking forward to. I wasn't able to go the last couple of years, and I've heard wonderful things about it. And tonight is the first last dress rehearsal is sometimes the way we say it, but Staff and Faculty Sister Act opening night. So if you want to go over there and just see the play in its final dress rehearsal, stop by tonight. Upcoming, we also have, of course, we have commencement coming up in a few weeks and many, many more of these end of the year celebrations. But we also have the end of the comprehensive campaign event, which is scheduled for April 29th, Wednesday, April 29th. It'll be in the afternoon on the 29th, and the event celebrates the wrapping up of this comprehensive fundraising campaign. And it marks some of the conclusion of a lot of the initiatives that we've put together for this. So this is we had a goal of raising $50 million for this comprehensive campaign. We've raised just about $54 million. And it's contributed to renovations in the aviation building, renovations in South Hall for all the health sciences with some of the labs specifically focused on physical therapy, but it serves all of them. Our trading lab that's over in St. Charles Borromeo for the finance and all the students that deal with finance classes. As well as, we have a new lab over in the social sciences. There's just so many things. And so we're going to try to get people on campus on the 29th and really celebrate their gifts to the university so that donors can see the impact it's had on the lives of students and the lives of faculty and staff. So Chris, you have more to talk about with this.
Yeah.
And we have so much to say this morning about everything that's going on campus.
I know. I just want to add a little bit to a couple of the things you just talked about. In terms of the comprehensive campaign, one thing I experienced yesterday at Celebration of Scholarship was I talked to 2 student poster presentation presenters who used the psychology lab in Benilde to do their research. It was really great to see that kind of investment in that lab kind of come full circle, where the students have, we've had it long enough for them to do a research project, go through all the IRB approvals and all that kind of stuff, and actually be able to present it yesterday at Celebration of Scholarship with photographs of how they were using the lab on the posters. It's really cool. It's just one little detail of a really great day yesterday. It was super fun. I agree. One of the pieces of feedback I heard yesterday was we need to stretch it out a little bit because so many great things are happening simultaneously. And it's hard to get around and see everything, which I think is cool. It's just sort of part of the experience of being at a lively conference, is that there's a lot going on, including a presentation by today's guests. So we look forward to talking to them about that. A little more detail about a couple of the other things. At the Together for Mission event, we announced individuals who are participating in communities of Lasallian educators from across the country and world, really, who come together, deepen their knowledge and their connection to the Lasallian tradition, and they form bonds and partnership with other Lasallian educators. Often great collaborative relationships come out of this commitment to doing this international Lasallian work, as we've talked about many times here. And so I'm just going to announce the people who are participating. So at the Buttermer Institute of Lasallian Studies, we have David Anderson returning for a second year, and Dr. Carmen Arellano beginning the Buttermer Institute this summer. Professor Arsalan Memon is a representative at Collegium Summer Colloquy on Faith and Understanding. The Brother John Johnston Institute has a new cohort starting that includes 3 people from Lewis, Kayla DeCant, Geraldine Dunlap from the Oakbrook campus, and Madeline Saunders from Career Services. So that's really exciting. And then the best, most coveted thing, I think, we've both been there and done it, is our Leadership Institute in Rome. We have a great group of people going to Rome this June. Dr. Michelle Clifton, our Director of Prison Education, Dr. Mark Napier from the College of Business, and Dr. Arvi Vitente from the department, or the Doctorate in Physical Therapy program. And then you mentioned the Faculty Scholars Reception was sort of one way that we kick off Celebration of Scholarship, is to have a little mini celebration of faculty scholarship before we dedicate the day to students. And part of that is we give our annual faculty awards, and I'm going to announce the winners of those. So Professor Dina Hinkle from nursing won our Outstanding Scholar of the Year award. Orgazan Batmaz is a professor of economics. He was the outstanding scholar, sorry. Dina Hinkle was the best early career scholar. And then our Inclusive Justice Award went to Elizabeth Sartell from the Department of Theology, and our Career Award went to Professor Jamil Mustafa from English and Literary Studies. So congratulations to those great faculty, and it was great to recognize your accomplishments. We encourage people to take part in Saturday's Out of the Darkness Lewis University Campus Walk. Out of the Darkness is a campus-wide event hosted in collaboration with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, AFSP. The walk brings together students, faculty, staff, alumni, and community members to raise awareness for mental health and suicide prevention, reduce stigma, and honor lives affected by suicide. Raises funds to support AFSP's education, research, advocacy, and survivor support efforts, while reinforcing our commitment as a university to community care and well-being. I'm looking forward, my wife Lee and I are going to do that on Saturday morning. We're really excited about it. Congratulations to students Luke and Zach Pickle, who brought home the 2026 Pi Mu Epsilon Student Speaker Award for Lewis University with outstanding research presentations at the Joint Mathematics Meetings, the largest gathering of mathematicians in the world. The Pickle brothers were among 4 Lewis undergraduates selected to present at the conference. Luke, a mathematics and finance major, shared a statistical analysis of performance metrics in NCAA men's volleyball, supported by the Shore experience in summer, while Zach, a mathematics and secondary education major, presented predictive modeling of volleyball rankings with support from the Noyce Scholarship. Both were mentored by Dr. Harsey and Dr. Adam Schultz from the mathematics department or program. Also presenting were Tony Kochev, a data science major and math minor, who also explored volleyball ranking models through linear algebra, and Zach Little, a computer science major and math minor, who presented research on modeling disease transmission in healthcare settings, who was mentored by Professor Brittany Stevenson. We saw some video footage of them, of many of those people I just mentioned, who presented also yesterday as finalists in the similar research, or the same research, and as finalists in the Stephanie Schlachter Awards at the Celebration of Scholarship. The Lewis University Student Managed Investment Fund team earned 4th place honors in 2 competitions at the 2026 Student Managed Investment Fund Consortium Conference, which was held April 10th and 11th in Miami, Competing against nearly 30 universities, the team placed fourth in both the Financial Analysis Research Report and the Portfolio Poster Competition, with their equity research recognized for its innovative use of artificial intelligence and Refinitiv tools. Representing Lewis were Daniel Baumhart, Adrian Abram, Zachary Lenz, and Mark Kirby, who also participated in expert-led sessions and networking with peers from across the country. So thank you to Professor David Townsend, who supported them on site and manages the group, or mentors the group, and thank you to Brian and Mary Durkin for, as you mentioned, the support of the finance lab, really, which includes that Refinitiv tool. We couldn't have done the research without the existence of that lab, so it's all connected. Lewis's Dr. Ian Gladding from the College of Business has been appointed to the Fulbright Specialist Program, a prestigious honor through the United States government's International Educational Exchange Initiative. This is a 3-year appointment and makes him eligible to collaborate with institutions around the world on projects such as curriculum development, planning, and research. He's a professor of international business and business administration and brings decades of global business experience to his teaching and scholarship. This is the 3rd time he's had this Fulbright recognition after a long career of being committed to international business. In addition, he will present his research this July at the 19th Global Studies Conference in Galway, Ireland, where international scholars examine major challenges facing the global economy. This is also Earth Week, and in honor of Arbor Day, which is tomorrow, Lewis will host a tree planting event at 1 p.m. Along the Burnham Centennial Nature Trail. This event celebrates Lewis's longstanding commitment to environmental stewardship as a nationally recognized Tree Campus USA, a designation awarded by the Arbor Day Foundation in recognition of sustained excellence in tree care, campus forestry management, and community engagement. Since 2009, Lewis has maintained this distinction through regular Arbor Day observances, dedicated resources for tree preservation, and hands-on opportunities for students to participate in caring for the campus's arboretum like landscape. So that's a great opportunity tomorrow to contribute to that long tradition we have here as a tree campus. And finally, as you mentioned, tonight we have the preview for the Philip Lynch Theater's Sister Act, running from April 24th through 26th and April 30th through May 3rd, featuring a cast of Lewis students, staff, and faculty, and alumni, and special arrangements from Music Theater International. Sister Act is based on the 1992 film following disco singer Dolores Van Cartier, who is forced into hiding after witnessing a crime and discovers the power of community when joining a church choir. So a lot there, and I know there's more. I know you have a lot of detail to cover with some other stuff that's going on.
Just like you made some comments about, just little things. It was interesting to tie some of these together. When we were at the Together for Mission event, I was talking to Mark Napier because he was there because he's going to Rome, and he was telling me that his family, he's going to Rome on kind of a vacation, then he's doing the 2 weeks of the Leadership Institute, and then he had already scheduled to do research at the Vatican Library for 3 weeks, and he had to move it because he was going to go on vacation and then do his research, but now he had to move it by 2 weeks, which they allowed him to do. So he's going to be there for, he said, 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah, doing 3 different things.
3 different things, but that is great. And that reminds me of what you said about Ian, going to Ireland, and lots of other people going all over the world to do their research. We're really, we're a part of an amazing community. People are taking students and going by themselves and doing research, and it's just an incredible opportunity. We're grateful to all the faculty and staff that participate in that. So to get to the events coming up, and I will comment on some of these and not on others because we've already talked about them, but we do have the Weisenthal lecture today at 3. We have Painting Your Heritage and Pressed Flowers, Do It Yourself. And again, we mentioned this, but just to remind people, the Mariachi Fest tonight, 7 o'clock in Convocation Hall. I think it'll be a really great event. Tomorrow, big day also on campus. We have men's lacrosse. Men's lacrosse is hosting Indy for the first round of the GLVC championships. Mentioned that Arbor Day planting. We have an off-campus event, the Ultimate Mixtape. And then, as we mentioned, Sister Act is available. And then on Saturday, we also have a bunch of stuff going on. But Chris talked about the Out of Darkness Hope Walk. Joan and I won't be able to attend, but I'm really glad Chris and Lee will be there. We have softball on campus against Maryville. And then Sister Act will be both Saturday evening and Sunday afternoon. We have Mass on Sunday night, and then softball is also hosting on Sunday. And then on Monday, we have a lot of really exciting things beginning to, as the year ends, we have so much going on. The Life and Dignity of the Human Person, this talk, Michelle Clifton will be doing that at the Lunch and Learn right after Mass on Monday. We have the Athletics Charlie Awards will be happening at 4 o'clock in the Field House, as well as some speed puzzling for those of you who want to get a little stress out and just do a puzzle. We also have a lot of stuff going on in terms of things that are, again, people wanting to get together before the year's end. BSU is having a kickback. The National Society of Leadership and Success induction ceremony is happening, and the Rock and Jazz Band concert. If you, again, want to just watch some of your fellow students in their bands, that's a great event on Tuesday. And then Wednesday is always full. We have the I Love Lewis Day and the campaign closeout event, which we already mentioned. And then during community hour, just a lot of stuff going on. One of the things on there that I'd like to point out is, again, as you get to the end of the year, if you want to kind of blow off some steam, go to the improv session. There's an opportunity to just kind of let loose and learn a little improv. But the Pre-Physical Therapy Club is meeting. There's spin and core classes, of course, many days throughout the week, but that's happening during community hour. So lots of stuff going on there. And then we have some other events that are going on. The Student Senate has an event. We do have the studio end of year social and First Gen Flyer end of the year celebration. So a lot of celebrations. And then we do have some athletic travel events that are also happening. We have men's golf will be at the GLVC championships down in Indiana and Peru, just like we're hosting the lacrosse championships here. Our women's lacrosse will be at Quincy. Baseball will be at McKendree on Saturday and Sunday. And then Friday, women's lacrosse will be playing Missouri Western State University. So lots of athletic travel going on, lots of events going on. There's so much to celebrate as we close up the last few weeks of the semester. So Chris, you're going to introduce our guests. I'm really excited about this conversation.
Yeah, me too. I'm really pleased to have this conversation today. Before I introduce our guests, just remember that you can write in a question there on the bottom of the screen. You see the email, askus@louisu.edu. You can write an email and we'll get your question into the conversation. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, after it's over, you can still use that email and we can forward the question to whichever guests you want to ask a question to. So the President's Annual Art Exhibition is a signature Lewis tradition that celebrates the creative work of students and alumni through a juried selection of visual artwork. It's in its 18th year and is displayed, as we've announced many times, at the Brent and Jean Wadsworth Family Gallery. A whole wide range of different types of art, visual art, media, including painting, drawing, sculpture, photography, graphic design, mixed media. And each year, outstanding works are recognized with awards. Student winners engage the community through a gallery talk, which was, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And then again yesterday, a kind of different version of it at the Celebration of Scholarship, highlighting Lewis's commitment to creativity, artistic excellence, and the integration of art within our broader academic experience. So we're really happy to be joined by 3 students who are the top winners in the juried competition. Meghan Check, a junior studying painting and art, Franchesca Ornelas, a junior studying illustration, and Nguyen, a junior in illustration as well. So all 3 of you, thank you so much for being here with us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, and thank you for your art. I love that show, and I love what you've done. So we'll talk more about that, but just appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe we'd start by talking with each of you individually just a tiny bit, and I think we have some of your work to show. So maybe Megan, to begin with, like just if you could tell us where you're from and you know what got you here to this place.
I'm from Joliet. My mom works here. She's HR, and she's the reason why I get to go to school because she got the benefit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I chose painting. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but the professors there saw that I was good at art and painting, so I switched my major to that. And then,
So how long have you been doing that, Megan? Like, did you start doing painting when you were like 6th grade or earlier, or did you just come up in high school, or when you got to college where you're like, this is my thing? So where in your life did you find painting?
I've always created art ever since I was like in preschool. Like I have like little pictures of my preschool drawings, and then I never really painted. Like I did art assignments in regular art classes in school, but I really didn't start painting until college. But before that, it was all just drawings.
And you do, is it oil? Is it watercolor? Is it mostly oils?
Yeah, oil. I'd like to be good at watercolor, but it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, Francesca, how about you?
Hi. Well, I've been doing art for about, I think with this April, 11 years now.
Oh, all right.
So I've been in the running for it for a little while. I love doing charcoal. I love doing life drawing. Anything involving the human figure, I really love to show that in my artwork.
Sure.
I love doing art, and I love the struggle of it, I think. You know, I think if you love what you do have to struggle in order to do it. So for me to be able to do it for this long, I think it's really great to have that opportunity.
And can you just talk a little bit about, did you narrow, like for instance, did you do some, oil stuff and some other stuff, and then you narrowed down to charcoal as your kind of favorite medium that you wanted to work on? Or have you, worked with kind of charcoal and pencils since, for 11 years?
Well, obviously, when you have art school, art classes in school, you use a variety of materials. You see what you like, you see what you don't like. And before coming to Lewis, I went to an art college. So we really went to the basics. So it was a lot of like pencil studies and charcoal. And I found out that I really love doing charcoal. So I try to do that whenever I can, but also experiment with a lot of stuff. I'm not a painter like Megan, but I try to do that. But charcoal is usually the thing I go to get the sort of realness I'm going for with my work.
And I think we'll come back because we have some pictures of yours up here. But I think what we'll do is come back and maybe talk about what was in that piece after we get through the three of you and kind of your background.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Because I think, I'm totally fascinated. I'm not an artist, but my brother's an artist, and I love art. Joan and I were just in at the galleries in Chicago last weekend. It was really, there's like 15 galleries all in a few blocks, in basically River North. And we just had a great time. So, so last, but not certainly least. So tell us a little bit about you and your journey into art.
Okay, so I'm Long. I'm an international student from Vietnam. I guess I've been drawing since I was very little, probably since primary school. Usually doing like stick figures and stuff. I was inspired by a lot of those cartoons back in the day. Well, not really back in the day, like Adventure Time on Cartoon Network. So a lot of cartoon stuff. So I got to thank my parents for giving me an opportunity to be in the U.S. At first I came here, I had 1 year of high school first.
Okay.
And then I applied to Lewis and I was accepted here.
And how long did you go to high school in the Chicagoland area?
No, I actually went to one in Michigan.
Okay.
Went on like an exchange student program.
Sure.
And only spent 1 year there. Then go straight to Lewis.
Nice.
And at first I started as a computer science major, actually. And after the first year, I think something just clicked, and like I've been doing this for so long, and now I just just want to keep doing it, but then trying to work on these other stuff with art, like 2 things at once, it's gonna be really tough. So I got to pick one right now. And so that's when I decided to switch into illustration and totally into art.
All right. And do you do illustration in both digital and like drawing? Do you do both those worlds?
Mhm.
And how do they, influence each other?
Digital art, I wouldn't be fair to say experimenting, because I had my first drawing tablet a couple of years back, probably 4 or 5 years back, probably even a little further than that. But I work on both.
Okay.
Traditionally, I do not do a lot of painting. I do mostly pencil, razor, just regular drawing, like drawings you do in class.
Okay.
Something like that. When when the class stuff got a little boring, I just pick up a piece of paper and start scribbling on there. And maybe a bit of pen work, line stuff on there too. Simple stuff. Digital art is something I think is really interesting. It gives you this like ease in tools. Gives you a lot of tools that are usually a little more difficult to get traditionally.
Yeah, that's great.
It's wonderful.
Great.
So maybe we can look at some of your pieces, and I'm not sure how.
Yeah, I don't know who. Yeah, put up a piece.
Put up
and
anybody's
we'll,
piece, and
we'll talk about it. All right.
This is mine.
all
Meghan.
right, Megan.
I created the canvas with my professor Joseph Lopresti in his advanced painting class. I recommend that class. It's a really cool class. But I got to make the canvas, like we did a collab with the wood workshop. That was really fun. I got to, like use the pressure thing to shoot the nails into the wood and then wrap the canvas around it and put gesso on it so that it's a smoother surface, and like sand it. And then the painting's supposed to be like triception, because I was in advanced painting class, piano class, which I was struggling with, which is why I'm like slumped over on the piano. And then there's photography, which I used a photo to as a reference for this. it's
So
like
what was the
triceps.
photo of?
It was of me slumped
So
over.
somebody else took the photo. Yeah.
No, I didn't. No, I set it on the
Oh, okay.
piano.
Like a time lapse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's great.
Wow.
And then,
So this is you.
How big
this
is-
like death-like figure is you.
Yeah.
well, that's your interpretation.
All right, my interpretation. It looks a little. All right. So what
It
it
looks
evokes
like
in
playing
me
piano is hard.
like there's a I don't know why. The images of the kind of death is coming to get us.
Yeah.
Dong dong
I
dong
heard
dong.
Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah. All right.
And how big is this?
Oh, it's like I wanted it to originally make like a 6-foot painting, but then I just changed it to like 4 feet.
That's huge.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's hard to tell with this, but it's we've been in there and seen it. It's a really big painting. Are there any challenges? I mean, I don't know how big your range is, but in terms of, I'm sure you've made really small paintings too. Like how's it different? And is this way harder in terms of everything, or is it just the same thing, only bigger?
It was actually pretty easy. The hardest part was having small references on like small like printed paper, and like trying to optimize it. But I managed, and I can see how I could do better on the painting now. But the reflection was also hard to do on the piano because
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an
Yeah.
interesting question before we look at the next one, like for all three of you or anybody who wants to talk about it. Like, do you ever feel like things are finished? I know I don't ever with anything I write or do. I think about it like you just said, I just keep thinking about things, or I try
Meaning
to.
there's a time when you have to submit it.
Yeah,
Like
when
we
you
both-
publish
We do a
something-
lot of writing or whatever.
Yeah, when you publish something, it's just, there
Right.
it is. Everybody has to look at it in the form that you finish, but in your mind, you're still revising. And do you all feel the same way, or are you happy to be done with stuff?
It's so
You want to start first?
well, thank you. Yeah, it's like you said, you're always looking at something and you're never sure if it's quite finished, because you observe different artists and their techniques, and You're the one that lives with that experience of creating the thing,
Yeah.
and so you know the struggle that it took to get to that final product, or what you think is the final product. We even had a guest artist, Michael Pantuzzo, a couple months ago, who showed a self-portrait that he did that was 20 years old. He just kept working at it for 20 years, and he just kept working at it till it was finished, and then he'll come back a couple months later and say, I'm going to do this again. So something is never usually finished, but you know, to other people, they're going to look at it and say, like, hey, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But for us, because we are our own worst critic, we're going to be
Right.
judgmental and say, like, no, this can be better based on assumptions that we make for ourselves.
Sure.
Well,
Well, you were going to say something.
Yeah. So I think it's a great thing that we don't see it as finished, because I guess it leaves room for improvement for us. It makes me feel like I can still be a better artist after this. I can still making better pieces, improvements to this single piece, instead of being stuck there and not seeing how this piece could be something better than it is right now.
Yeah,
Just-
nice. That's awesome. So maybe we could look at another one.
Yeah.
That's long.
Longs? So
That's
tell us
fine.
about this piece and kind of the inspiration and.
So the background for it, I was working for a backstory of a character that I made up, just some made up character. And this was, I guess, a moment in that story that I want to depict, that I thought it would be interesting to make. I was trying to bring that feeling of, I don't know the word in English, but in my language, there's this word which means being a little ghostly, but also kind of enchanting at the same time.
Nice.
So that is the feeling I'm trying to put into this drawing, with the really flowy, bit surreal, I'd say, flow of the hair. And so my art journey, I've been doing a lot of figure drawing, mainly figures drawing. So that is what I put into this piece as well. And just a little bit, I want to talk about digital art. I feel like some people could think of digital arts of like a bit of a cheating. And I can see why, when you can look at even clearly now, when stuff like AI and stuff that came up, make people feel like, oh, digital art became something really cheap. But I want some of us to understand that it's only a tool in some way, and depends on how you use it, that will really make it like being really great or just like a terrible thing.
Do you want to say anything about how you did this? Because I have no idea. I feel really ignorant about how you can do that. And how did you use the tools to create that?
So for this one, like I said, it's just a tool. This one I did really traditionally, even though it's digital. I do a lot of lines on the work, mostly lines. If you have a chance to look at it, it's a lot of cross-hatching, hatching on the figure. And there is not really anything that you cannot do with a traditional material if you want to make like a recreation of this piece. It's done really simply. It's just pen and black and white, and that's pretty much it.
So I'd love to follow up, and we'll get to Francesca's piece in a second, but you mentioned something that, and actually both of you and Meghan just mentioned something that is interesting to me. So kind of the inspiration. So you were talking about kind of, I do these characters, because you had kind of two things. Do these characters that are part of a storyline. And there was a part of the story that I wanted to capture with this specific thing. And then you talked about kind of I guess what I would say, an emotion, a word, a specific experience that person was having at that moment in the story. And then you talked about yourself. Like, I was trying to capture maybe my challenge with my piano course, or that was maybe the inspiration. And as we get into yours, Francesca, you said earlier, I like to do the human figure, but I'm just wondering whether, how much that kind of notion of story, like I want to tell a story, or I want to communicate an emotion, or I just want to capture something. Like sometimes people just, they see something in the world and they're like, I want to capture that moment. Maybe that's emotional, but I guess I'm interested in story, emotion, and maybe representation, and how those play into what you do. Whether it's more often I'm trying to communicate an emotion or I'm trying to communicate a story. I don't know. Maybe anybody can talk about that. Maybe we can start with you, Francesca.
I mean, there are a lot of elements that go into it. You know, you can set up a still life, you know, a bunch of objects and try to draw it, and two people can draw the exact same thing, and it could have different outcomes based on how they look at it, how they feel about it. You know, at least in the art world, there's a lot of different techniques you can use to convey emotion, whether something is human or not. You know, you can use more intense shadow, or color is especially a big thing, because we associate color with a lot of different realms of human emotion. So, I mean, no two drawings are going to be the same, and I think compared to like machines and stuff like that, humanity is always going to shine through the artwork. You can feel like, I hate this thing, I like this thing, I'm indifferent. I think that's still going to show through the artist's rendition of a work.
Yeah. And either one of you, is it kind of trying to tell a story? Is it an emotional thing you want to communicate? I mean, or is it not even anything, that I'm just you know, drawing because I enjoy drawing, or painting because I enjoy painting?
Well, I think art is very subjective. Like, a lot of people have different ideas when they look at my art. Like, not just this painting, but other paintings. But I really like hearing what people see. Like, they said that my piano painting looked like it was bringing hope, with like the contrast between darker colors and lighter colors, and how the character in the background is just throwing up a peace sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we look at Francesca's?
Sure.
So tell us a little bit about where this comes from.
Well, like Megan said, we had the same teacher, Joe Lepresti, and I believe this was an assignment to find our favorite place and kind of do like a still life based on it, right? So some people chose their desks or like their favorite place to go. Me, I'm not very into traveling. I don't have like a specific place per se. So I was like, oh, I'll just do my bed, you know, I'll just find this still life, set it up. But then, you know, throughout the process of like looking at the reference photo and, you know, taking the pictures for it, it became, I think, a little bit more personal because, you know, I tell people I'm very like reserved and stuff like that and try to be like responsible, respectful, very like professional type. And then I'm doing, you know, a picture of, you know, my stuffed animals and where I sleep and that kind of thing. And I guess it's what people don't expect of me. And so while working through this and thinking, well, I have to present this to a class of other people and I don't know what they did, and this was like a view into my life, that sort of humanity showed throughout the whole process. And, you know, with every stroke, I definitely wanted to put enough detail, but as well as love and care into the work that I was presenting.
It's really striking, and I wonder if you could just talk a little bit about any challenges you had with it. It's really for, I know it's stuffed animals, but it's for individual characters that have very unique like personalities based on, so there must be all kinds of technical ways. I know I can't do that. Like, how do you make that, how do you do it?
I mean, sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you go into a drawing and you don't know how you're going to get a certain texture or feel of it, or if the proportion, like the sizing of everything is going to be right. So when I had these stuffed animals stacked on top of each other, I wasn't sure how I was going to get, I guess, the indents of that one like big pillow-like thing, or how I was going to get the fur texture on the sloth in the back, right? And to make sure that the viewer understood that there was distance between all of those elements. Sometimes you just have to put the color down, or put like the material down, just see how that works, erase a little bit and then add it again, then erase. It's a whole trial that sometimes I don't know how I'm going to get through the entire process, but it's a lot of layering, I think, is the thing. You put the base tone down and then work from there. If it doesn't work, find another thing. The eraser is a great tool. I use it all the time.
Revising is great.
Yeah, it's that is such an interesting. I guess those are two things that pop up in hearing the three of you talk. One is about the kind of exposure of the self and how challenging that, like you were saying. So now I'm showing my bed with my stuffed animals, and people think one thing of me, and now I'm gonna have to go talk about this piece, and I'm gonna have to, tell people I love stuffed animals and I have these on my bed. So there's this kind of revelation of the self that can feel a little bit scary and every time, I feel like every time somebody's doing art, there is some self-revelation in that doing of the art. So I don't know if any of you feel that, and you've been doing art long enough that yeah, that's what I do, or is it still, am I ready to do this piece because this piece is going to reveal something about me that I'm not sure that I'm ready to reveal. I don't know, does that make any sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I know whenever I make a piece, whether it's like about me or something else, I'm always, I guess, a little hesitant because it's like, well, you don't know if this piece is going to be better than the last one you did or worse. And, especially if you've been doing it for a long time and people see your work, whether for the first time or the 100th time, right, you're never sure if it's going to, I guess, meet their expectations and especially meet yours. So you hold yourself to a high standard because of elements that people may not see.
I wonder, go ahead, Lon,
Oh, yeah.
please. Yeah.
So I'm impressed with people who are brave enough to put themselves in their own pieces. A lot of my pieces are of characters. I guess sometimes you can see the artist through the characters, but it's not the artists themselves, like directly at themselves. So I guess I feel safer than other people because I have something to convey it through instead of conveying it through like directly into the viewer. I guess that's something about me, not something I'm trying to change, but it is something kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is an interesting difference. Obviously, you're revealing yourself and sharing your work by, even though it's a character, but I can see the difference. Yeah. Megan, any thoughts?
I do use myself as a reference in, not just for anything. Like if I'm drawing a hand, I'll draw a hand, but it might be a character that looks nothing like me. Kind of like creating my own image or something.
So you're a little bit in there, but not. It's not. It's a little hidden from. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's not just that. It's even an object that you own. It's that the art. Like I would just even say this to you, like the kinds of characters you create say, I think, something about you, because you could choose this type of character or this type of character, and so the artist is somewhat coming out in the art, and that feels again like revelatory in some way that some of us try to avoid because we're trying to hold ourselves in.
I know we're a little pressed for time here.
Yeah.
I want to ask one more question,
please,
at least. How do you, kind of related to that question, you probably had some experience with doing shows before, maybe not, I don't know, but what's it like to have strangers walking around looking at your work on the wall? Like, and how is that different than revealing yourself in your painting? But it's more like, I'm an artist, here it is. The context of like when you're walking around River North, you're evaluating, like, I like this one.
I like this, I don't like this.
One, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, so how does that, like, how do you like that part of being an artist?
It's the best part.
Yeah, you like that the most?
Yeah.
Like watching
Say more
people
about
appreciate it?
that.
Yeah, tell us more.
Yeah.
That's what motivates me to keep painting, is that hearing what people think about my art.
Nice. That connection with an audience, yeah.
And do you like to just observe them observing it, or do you like to then go up and talk to them?
No, I just stand back.
Okay.
Eavesdrop.
That's interesting, because I do think that's another interesting part of it, is like eavesdropping versus actually so that's interesting. Others, I mean, do you like it, not like it?
For me, it's a little complicated. I do feel great when people are looking at it, maybe even looking closely at it. But at the same time, I am myself my own biggest critic. So I was still thinking in my head, like, it's not actually that good. So so being proud and being a little shy at the same time when someone is looking at my piece
Yes.
is what I feel.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Francesca, any thoughts about that?
I usually don't have a lot of people actually come up to me and say what they thought about my work. I usually, you know, when we have our stuff in the gallery, we usually see people, you know, walk around, but it's never a lot of time like at one specific thing. I think I just enjoy the general experience of seeing people just be here for all of the artworks, not just mine, because, you know, I think our other artists should be recognized for their work and their talents rather than
absolutely.
just
It's a great
me.
show.
You know?
Right. Sure.
And we're totally out of time. I have so many other things I want to talk about, including the community of artists that we have here at Lewis. Is such a great thing, and I was planning on asking you about that. But I just want to say one more thing, which is all of three of you talked about in different ways about the discipline and patience and repetition and that's required in producing great art. And I just want to recognize that as such. I think so many people don't understand that when they're thinking about what an artist is. They think you are like staring out the window and all of a sudden turn around and make a perfect painting, and or you're inspired by But there's so much. You talked about being in class. There's so much training and skill and technical knowledge that you have to have, as well as the kind of spirit to do it. And I just want to recognize that and appreciate it when I see it. And so thank you all for doing that and the great work in the show.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today. I mean, as I wrap up, it is great to be a part of a community that has an art sub-community within it, and we see that every year with many of the shows. So I'm just really grateful to the three of you, and I hope you just keep doing it because I love and really appreciate art. So we need to wrap up. I just want to thank everyone for spending a little bit of your day with us. And taking some time, and obviously a really amazing show with our students today. But until next time, please take care. Many blessings to you and all those that you love. We'll see you next week.